Feeling confident? On top of the world? New research from Yale says you might be turning into a narcissist and you have no idea it's happening. Before you click away thinking not me, that's what they all say. Stay with me for just 60 seconds and I will show you the exact test that proves whether you are already too far gone. For decades, we have been told the same thing. Love yourself more and all your problems will disappear. Billions of dollars have been spent on this idea. An entire generation has been raised believing that high self-esteem is the ultimate answer to everything. But what if I told you that high self-esteem can actually make you worse? It can make you more aggressive, more defensive, and frankly more insufferable to be around. Comment your self-esteem on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. I'm about to show you the test that reveals if you have secure, healthy self-esteem or the dangerous kind that makes people secretly avoid you. Hit that like button. Let's go. Let's go back to 1986. California's task force to promote self-esteem is formed. The theory was simple, almost beautiful. If we boost everyone's self-esteem, we can solve crime, drug abuse, and academic failure. It was the magic bullet. And so schools started telling every child, everyone's a winner. Parents began praising every little thing. A whole generation grew up being told they were special, unique, and absolutely destined for greatness. The result? Narcissism is up 58%. Empathy is down 40%. Aggression is at an all-time high. And self-esteem? It's sky high. We succeeded in raising it, but at what cost? We created a generation of people who think they are absolutely amazing, but are actually more fragile, more sensitive, and more aggressive than ever before. This isn't just a theory, it's biology. Neuroscientists scanned the brains of people with high self-esteem while they received criticism. What did they find? The exact same regions of the brain lit up as if they were facing a physical threat. Their brains literally treated a simple disagreement like a physical attack. So why does feeling good about yourself make you react like a cornered animal? The latest research from Yale reveals everything. According to Yale's Dr. Jennifer Crocker, not all self-esteem is created equal. There are two fundamental types, and only one of them is actually healthy. First, there's fragile self-esteem. Think of it as a castle built on sand. It needs constant validation to stay upright. People with this type react strongly to criticism, are obsessed with comparing themselves to others, feel threatened by the success of their friends and colleagues, and will defend their ego at all costs. Roy Baumeister's groundbreaking research confirmed it. Inflated, fragile self-esteem is directly linked to more aggression, especially when that ego is threatened. Now, here's a pattern break for you. If you felt even a little bit defensive reading that list, that right there is a symptom. Now let's look at type 2, secure self-esteem. This is the bedrock. People with this can handle criticism without crumbling. They genuinely celebrate the success of others because it doesn't diminish their own worth. They don't need constant reassurance. They can admit their mistakes without shame, and they feel worthy regardless of external validation. The Yale studies found that secure self-esteem is the #1 predictor of better relationships, higher achievement, and greater life satisfaction. The problem? It is extremely rare. Think about this. When someone criticizes your work, what is your very first gut reaction? Is it A, defensiveness or anger? B, curiosity about their perspective? C, an immediate need to prove them wrong? Or D, an openness to improvement? If you chose A or C, that points to a fragile ego. If you chose B or D, you're leaning towards secure. But don't worry. A real test is coming that will reveal your true type with scientific accuracy. First, you have to understand exactly why this matters. Fragile self-esteem doesn't just hurt you, it quietly destroys your relationships and makes the people around you secretly resent you. Imagine you're in a meeting. Someone questions your idea. They're not being aggressive, just asking, "Hey, have you considered this other angle?" The person with fragile self-esteem immediately gets defensive. Their heart races. They interrupt, trying to shut the other person down. Later, they complain to coworkers about how they were attacked. They might even try to undermine that person in the future. The person with secure self-esteem, on the other hand, says, "That's an interesting point. Let me think about that." They actually consider it, incorporate the good feedback, and move on. Now fast forward a year. Same situation, repeated over and over. Which one of these two gets the promotion? Which one has real, deep friendships? The secure one. Every single time. So let's figure out which one you are. In the natural world, Dominance displays are a way to prevent conflict. But in modern human society, this same instinct has gone terribly wrong. When you have fragile self-esteem, your brain treats everyday social situations like survival threats. You're not just defending your ideas, you're defending your very existence. The study by Baumeister was terrifyingly simple. He gave participants negative feedback on an essay they wrote. The result? Those with inflated, fragile self-esteem were 3 times more likely to act aggressively towards the person who gave the feedback. They became more hostile, more vindictive, and even tried to sabotage them later. This single psychological mechanism explains so much of our modern world. Road rage, endless Twitter wars, workplace bullies, that one friend who can never ever handle being wrong. It is all just fragility disguised as strength. Now, I know some of you are thinking, I'm not fragile. I'm just standing up for myself. I don't tolerate disrespect. That is the fragile ego talking. Secure people don't interpret every single disagreement as a sign of disrespect. Social media has weaponized this flaw in our psychology. Every post becomes a self-esteem test. Every like is a hit of validation. Every critical comment is a threat. The algorithms are designed to reward fragile egos because they engage more, they argue more, and they generate more profit for the platforms. The platforms are literally training you to become more fragile. And unless you consciously fight against it, you don't stand a chance. This is the moment of truth. We're going to use the contingent self-worth assessment, the actual tool that psychologists use. This isn't some BuzzFeed quiz. This is peer-reviewed science. Grab your phone or a piece of paper. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Rate how much you agree with each statement on a scale of 1 to 7, where 1 is strongly disagree and 7 is strongly agree. Now you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Nobody is watching. Don't forget to pause the video if you need to understand the question or need time to write down your answer. Question 1. My self-esteem depends on my appearance. Question 2. When other people don't appreciate me, I feel worthless. Question 3. I can't respect myself if others don't respect me. Question 4. A lot of my value as a person depends on my accomplishments. Question 5. I feel bad about myself whenever I fail at something important. Question 6. I need others to tell me that I'm doing well. Question 7. When I am criticized, I feel like a failure. Question 8. My self-worth increases when people admire me. Question 9. I must do better than other people to feel good about myself. Question 10. My entire self-worth is on the line when I compete. Okay, add up your total score. Here's what it means. If you scored between 10 and 23, you have secure self-esteem. You're in the rare 15% of the population. Your sense of worth isn't tied to external things. You are genuinely confident. Congratulations, but understand that maintaining this is even harder than achieving it. If you scored between 24 and 45, you have moderate contingent self-esteem. This is the middle 60%. You have some security, but there are certain domains like your career, your appearance, or your status that can threaten your ego. You're functional, but you are vulnerable. If you scored between 46 and 70, you are in the fragile zone. This is the danger zone. Your sense of worth is almost completely external. This is why people might find you exhausting. It's why your relationships can feel transactional. It's why achieving success doesn't actually make you happy. If you scored high, listen to me, this is not your fault. The entire self-esteem movement created this problem. You were trained from a young age to tie your worth to your achievements and to the approval of others. But it is your responsibility to fix it. Drop your range in the comments. Secure, moderate, or fragile. If you scored in the moderate or fragile range, you're probably asking, can this be changed? And why didn't anyone tell me this before? That's what we're covering next, and it's going to make you angry. The self-help industry is worth over $13 billion. It has zero financial incentive to actually fix you. Think about it. If positive affirmations actually worked, why are people more fragile and anxious than ever? Why do you keep buying the next course, the next book, the next breakthrough seminar? Because the modern self-help industry sells you fragile self-esteem and calls it confidence. Look at what they teach. They say you're a 10/10, which means your worth depends on your appearance. They say you're high value, which means your worth depends on your status. They say, know your worth, implying your worth is something that can be quantified and compared. They say, don't tolerate any disrespect, which frames all criticism as a threat. And they say, you deserve everything, which creates a sense of entitlement. Every single one of these popular messages ties your worth to external factors. That is the literal scientific definition of fragile self-esteem. The guru tells you you're special and you feel great for 48 hours. Then reality hits. Someone at work doesn't treat you like you're special. Your ego collapses. And you go right back to the guru for another hit. It's the perfect business model. Create dependency, never solve the root problem, and keep the customer coming back for more. But here's the one thing they will never, ever tell you. True self-esteem has nothing to do with feeling good about yourself. Secure self-esteem is not about loving yourself. It is about not basing your identity on yourself at all. The Yale research uncovered a paradox. People with the most secure self-esteem think about themselves the least. Their identity is not wrapped up in their own ego. They are focused outward, on their work, on their relationships, on their values. Their worth isn't up for debate, so they don't have to waste a single ounce of energy defending it. The fragile person thinks, I am amazing, and you must acknowledge it. The secure person thinks, I'm doing meaningful work. Your opinion doesn't change that. Dr. Kristen Neff, self-compassion, being kind when you fail, creates more secure self-esteem than self-affirmation, telling yourself you're great. Here's the truth on a social level. Everyone around you knows. Your coworkers know you can't handle feedback. Friends know you make everything about you. Your partner knows you need constant reassurance, but they don't say anything. Because people with fragile self-esteem react so defensively, it's not worth it. So they just avoid you. Now let's talk about some solutions paths. But understand, there is no quick fix. No affirmation rewires your brain. This is deep work. Work on self-acceptance instead of self-love. You have value as a human, period. Not because you're successful or attractive, but because you exist. Secure self-esteem requires tolerating ego threats. Practice being wrong, being criticized, being average at something. Here is a 30-day challenge. Try something you'll be bad at. Ask for critical feedback. Post something vulnerable online. Build the muscle. This process sucks. Your fragile ego protects you from painful truths. When you dismantle it, discomfort floods in. If this hits you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more uncomfortable truths. And remember, real confidence doesn't need to be defended.